Muted. It's been a long weekend, apparently. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You have tuned into the NFT Morning Show. We run this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time, each and every week, where we discuss all things NFTs, crypto, technology, entertainment, gaming, finance, and just about everything in between. I'm your host, Clemente, here to take you through this. Now, I'm just playing with you, man. Killer P's back behind the wheel of this car. Killer P here. And in the crowd, I see some absolute badasses. Terry Cherry, Luna, Got Bounce, Antoine Algin, Camila Noguera, just to name a few. Shout out to Nate Dogg out in the crowd too. If this is your first time listening, we got an all-star squad up on stage. Nifty Nick, the man to my right, both on the Twitter stage and the video feed. Funniest man in the business. Free NFT platform developer extraordinaire. Signal, coder turned content creator, a host of Artist Spotlight, quickly becoming extremely well-connected in the artist community on the NFT side. Didn't mean to bring the music back. Absolutely love having Signal give her very sophisticated market takes and more on this show. Easy Eats Bodega, the dog behind Bodago's NFT, the host of GM Market Talk, day trader extraordinaire, always paying attention to the ins and outs of what's going on in the market. King Kicks.
Could we try this sophisticated shitcoin speculator for my intro?
I don't think it has the best ring to it, buddy, but did you clear, did you cash on some shitcoins?
Only two. I only traded two. I don't really get into that, You can get real weird into it, It's like kind of like smoking a joint versus like, doing heroin at a party, like I'll smoke a joint, but like I'm not going like that far into that weird room.
You only do heroin at home. I know about that, dude. Totally understand.
Yeah, right between the toenails.
Did you cash on Turbo? I know you cashed on Pepe.
Yeah, dude. 3.2 ETH.
Wow.
That's
very well done, buddy. Very nice.
And I haven't lost it trading a bunch of other shit and losing money. That's the thing is, my 2023 mentality has been just,
keep it.
Wins. Yeah, keep it.
Don't give it to Kevin Rose for Moonbirds.
Maybe get a small patio in the backyard, you
need to get a sauna.
100%. That's like a good sauna right there, right?
Yeah, probably. I mean, $6,000. Yeah, I could probably get you a sauna. I'm just saying.
After taxes,
pump those numbers up to like 12, and you can just build your own.
Was that just a 2x basically? Was what you did? Because I did that Friday to into Saturday.
I bet 2 made 3.2.
Ah, nice. So you went in a little earlier, I think.
That's impressive as hell. I almost aped in as soon as I saw Kick's tweet that he got into Turbo, but I was worried he was going to be giving it back because he just made it from Pepe. But that was silly of me. I should have known not to fade. Also got to introduce the head of growth at the Nifty, Clemente, the producer extraordinaire of this show, the man behind the scenes. Wouldn't be able to do the show without him. He hosted the show on Friday. The beginning of that episode was really funny, but he definitely got it together throughout the show. Saw him settle in. The game started to slow down for him. Absolutely love seeing that. Love seeing the young grasshopper emerge and, drop the crane on him like in the Karate Kid or whatever. Last but not least, we got Bunny. Bunny, your bio just says, remember NFTs.
I miss them, man.
What do you mean?
I was like, they're not there anymore.
I mean, they're kind of there.
Bunny likes picture pump and dumps. Yeah.
Bunny, I don't know if everybody's aware that your show's really taken off, your evening show.
We're cooking, PF.
Does the show have a name?
Nope.
Nick, how do you feel about that? Like a no-name show, just like growing that fast?
They should just call it This Show's Dumb.
That's one of the, okay, well, I'll keep that in mind. I'll throw that in the idea box.
Yeah, you put it on the whiteboard, Bunny?
I just wrote it down on my phone.
This show's dumb.
That's a hard one to remember, I know.
Why does that feel so fitting too? Like if you start saying, welcome back, this show's dumb. And today we're talking about some dumb stuff.
There's a lot of alpha, dude.
Nick, they put up like 2,000 plus listeners 3-4 days in a row last week.
Bro. You'll take that, Nick.
Hey, good luck with the rest of your show, and it was nice knowing you.
When are you stopping by, man? We've been waiting.
What time is it?
9:30 p.m. Eastern.
Nick, the people have been asking. Like the few times I've tuned in, like each time they've said, "Where's Nick?" Like
Dude, we get a lot
specifically
of
by
questions
name.
about it. Yeah.
Interesting.
My DMs are filled.
Well,
You're
ladies
warming
and
up
gentlemen,
right now.
we're going to keep this show going, but make sure you tune into This Show's Dumb, the hot show at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, hosted by Bunny. I'm not even kidding. It's putting up some serious numbers. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, hosted by Bunny. This Show's Dumb. So make sure you check it out. Look, on this show this morning, the NFT Morning Show, we are going to discuss Blend, adding a fourth collection to its platform. Damn. The big meme coin pullback, who could have seen that coming, and where things will go in that trend from here, and the surge in fees on Bitcoin following its BRC20 usage. I feel like Clemente, being the producer of the Bitcoin show, has now bled into this show. I'm down to talk about that, but I wouldn't be surprised if literally I receive a boycott from my co-hosts and panelists on this show on whether they want to talk about that. Anyway, diving in, before we get to the weather report, this show today is brought to you by Phantom Wallet. You've probably seen Phantom Wallet. You probably have Phantom Wallet. If you don't, what are you doing? Phantom is the leading wallet on Solana, bringing millions of users and a superior user experience for NFTs and more to both Ethereum and Polygon. So you probably are an Ethereum person if you're listening to this show. Phantom is about to flip the Ethereum world upside down. You can actually showcase your NFTs across all three networks and manage them in one location. You don't have to switch wallets a million times. You can even list directly from Phantom Wallet. So even if a marketplace is down, let's say OpenSea is down, which we know happens sometimes, you can actually direct list through Phantom. And so Phantom offers a browser extension for both iOS and Android, and you can pin your NFTs and search through them to keep spam out of your wallet. Well, oh, I thought Kicks, you're making all sorts of bodily sounds.
I thought I was muted.
Mute your
Yeah.
mic, dude.
Sorry, dude.
It's all good. Last but not least, you can actually just import your wallet directly to Phantom. You don't have to send your NFTs. You don't have to pay a bunch of fees to send them back and forth. So Phantom really is it. The user experience is awesome. They're making this wallet for users. And if you see some of these other wallets, you listen to the people that are making these wallets and their mentality, it doesn't always sound like they're making it for a user experience. So check out phantom.app. That's phantom.app and import your ETH wallet to get started. Kicks, you've been making bodily sounds. Are you ready to talk about the weather report instead?
Dude, I mean, that's why I was coughing, because, I'm trying to break it up a little bit down there so I can really hit that baritone, style voice that you've come to expect out of me these days. Just bringing you that straight fire. I was ready to go, I swear to God, and then Google logged me out, which is I'll be suing them, don't worry. But we're going to hop right into it. Today is Monday, the 8th of May, 2023. Total market volume coming in 19.6 million. Blur 12.7. OpenSea below 6 at 5.9. We don't like to see that. Looking over at the leaders, Apes down to 47.6, Mutants 10.5. We've been seeing a lot of volatility around that range, though. Punk's 53.9. Azuki a little bit back down to that 15 range. D-God's looking great, 8.7. Captainz slight pullback as well, 7.4. Pudgy's just stuck to that 4.3 ETH range. Moonbird's at mint price, 2.4 ETH. Over the weekend, NFT markets were quiet this weekend, with OpenSea trading at 2,200 ETH in volume, and Blur had less than 1,000 unique buyers on Saturday. Holy camole. Gas has come down after hitting an average of 0.06 ETH per trade in the weekend. That's absolutely ridiculous. Meme coin action, Pepe hit a market cap of 1.7 billion before pulling back to 977 million this morning. Turbo hit an all-time high of 200 million before losing almost half of its value down to 77. Gas fees weren't just high in Ethereum. Ordinal action plus BRC20 tokens contributed to fees surging on the Bitcoin network, forcing Binance to halt transactions over the weekend. Blur announced there is a new collection coming to Blend today. Speculation is rife that the collection will either be Memeland or The Gods. Lastly, Frank updated Utes holders with the future of the collection. U points will be converted to dope shit that nobody expects. We're not boomers. Holders will get access to top-tier tools and individuals, and soon you'll be able to buy Utes with mainnet ETH, which will help trading volume. Utes 1.58. Looking quickly over at crypto, we're all over the place. Bitcoin trying to hold above 28. ETH trying to hold above 1,800. Solana 21.28 down to 3.4. Ouch. Back to you in the studio.
Fantastic weather report as usual, Kicks. I like that little touch of the Frank accent and intonation. That was pretty funny. Anyway, some other updates from the Nifty Daily Digest, which is the daily newsletter published at thenifty.com. You have to have an account there to claim today's free NFT, so get on it. I don't want to hear that you weren't ready later in the show when we give the password. Anyway, Pudgy Penguins announced a partnership with WME, William Morris Endeavor, as their official talent agency to expand reach in film, TV, and gaming industries. I'm old enough to remember when an announcement like this would actually pump the floor price of an NFT collection, but it actually hasn't been that way for basically like 2 full years. However, obviously very strong move by Pudgy Penguins to continue to expand in the business world, specifically the talent and entertainment industry with this one. Binance temporarily suspended Bitcoin withdrawals amid high volume and an unanticipated surge in network gas fees. The team is working to accelerate confirmation of pending transactions. This is the big story in the Bitcoin world, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people are pretty grumpy about how high Bitcoin's fees are because of Bitcoin ordinals and the large volume of transcriptions on Bitcoin. I guess we're going to talk about that today. I never thought I'd see the day, but we're going to talk about it on the show, I suppose. Last but not least, 14 Bored Apes were sold below floor in a 48-hour span, with sellers investing. Wait, Clemente, is there a direct $1.27 million worth of Bored Apes? They were directly dumped into Pepe? Wow. That's pretty crazy. It looks like Cyrus or Cirrus, he reported on that. That's pretty crazy. They should have done that, a week and a half ago, and that would have been like $1 bajillion, but very interesting stuff. Those are your updates from the Nifty Daily Digest. Again, subscribe at thenifty.com. You also need to have that account ready to claim the free NFT. First story we're going to talk about is an updated look at Blend by the numbers. Blend, of course, Blur's efforts to, implement a lending protocol into their platform seamlessly. A lot of people are very excited about it. A lot of people are skeptical on it. But there's going to be a 4th collection being added to Blend today. Easy. What do you think that collection is going to be?
D-Gods.
100%?
Yeah. That's where if I'm a betting man, my money's on D-Gods. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. They had that partnership, 0.3% royalties, got on almost immediately after bridging over to ETH. It would not be surprising at all. I know it's largely based on volume, but I think that's where I like the either Captainz or D-Gods move, but my money's on D-Gods.
There's a bull. Sorry, I was going to say there is a case though for Captainz. I'm just going to do the Captainz case.
Sure.
So interestingly enough, before Blend came out, lots of people in Spirit DAO were selling grails and buying floor Azukis, which is obviously a bit of a weird move. But if you knew what was coming, that move totally made sense, because those were the NFTs that ended up being loaned out. So there is a move that apparently Spirit DAO people have also now been buying up Captainz and potatoes, and that's why potentially it could be Memeland. So
Who did they get their album from? Nate Chastain.
Nice. So wait, but why were D-Gods not one of the first collections, since they already had that partnership? Clearly, like, why?
I think it was just based on total volume. Like, it was the over X amount of time, total amount of volume traded. But it was also like, I think the projects had to be open to it as well, like enable it, because you saw like Bored Apes are not able to be loaned out on, which was really interesting. And I think because CryptoPunks are more open per se, that those were just included just because of the high liquidity and the ability to actually let people leverage that. But then like Milady's being on there was a surprise to many. But those things have just done insane amounts of volume recently. And then Azuki just being Azuki with a lot of the speculation on consistent sales, etc., 2x the floor of D-Gods. I think that's kind of what led to a few of those picks. And I think it was also just partly conversation, I'm sure, behind the scenes with Blur and Blend in this case and the projects. So that's kind of why I'm leaning more towards the D-Gods move, with what I would assume Captainz just continuing to do a few things of their own. Yeah, it'll be interesting, but my money's on D-Gods.
Clemente?
Quick thing on Captainz. So they're actually not included in the 2x listing and bid points. They were taking off of it. I don't know if it was Ray specifically asked for it, but it's pretty surprising to see them not included in it at all since the change and add of blend to the platform.
Yeah, I mean, so basically, just so I understand, the collection has the call, right? They basically can let Blur know whether or not they're down to be included. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, they have complete say over it. So that's the thing, is they can decide. And on top of it, even be deciding on like the 2x points, etc. So they have control. It's much like we're also starting to see it here too. I believe it's actually Limit Break is rolling out that contract royalty, which actually can allow founders to blacklist different marketplaces, protocols, etc. So I think we will actually start to see more of this. And you even see it now with certain collections that have enforced royalties can still be enforced on Blur, but they can also decide like, yeah, we don't want to be a part of this. Like, we don't want to be included in the 2x bid points. We don't take us off, or you can just basically block the listings from Blur. So I think Blur's more conscious of like, we just want the volume. So we may
Well,
as well enable them.
why wouldn't you want people that are trading your stuff to get free Blur points?
Because I think some projects and people see that it as like a negative price action because they're not actually trying to be holders or part of the ecosystem. They're just trading it for purely their own speculative gain. So like you do have some founders who are like, I don't care if it's going to potentially hurt the short-term flippers because our focus is on the people who actually want to just like
long-term holders.
Yeah.
Love it.
So Clemente has a tweet pulled up that's by the official Memeland account, and it's the first line in it is, the topic of the day is NFT finance, also known as NFT-fi. So is this tweet basically directed at Blur, more or less?
Yes, this was essentially when Blur or Blend came out, and they were kind of tweeting. Ray tweeted out about kind of warning people to not leverage themselves, not over leverage themselves with Memeland, and just be careful. And then they followed up with their own little paragraph, and the big takeaway was like, Memeland has no plans to work with any NFT-fi services.
And that essentially means that they're going to block. I mean, that's basically saying like you're blocking them, right?
Yeah, or just not letting it be part of that narrative. So, Sig, you still want to take the bet that it's Captainz or Giga?
Yeah, I know it's a horrible tweet to read after that, but it's just like, look, I agree, it's either D-Gods or Memeland, but actually after reading, I saw that tweet and then I remembered that Nine Baggers say that. I'm just like, because it would be such a perfect collection for them to do it. But Ray seems to be there's a tweet below that where you can just tell that from what he's saying, he looks at this as an ethical choice in terms of how a company makes its money, and he does refer to how he wants to sleep at night. That he wants to sleep at night peacefully, knowing that he's not in this kind of like business. So I'll give it to Easy. It's D-Gods.
And so is this ultimately bad for Captainz? Like, I mean,
I don't think so at all. I think if you look at like the actual Captainz price action and like the project, they're very conscious of like their holders. Like right now, everything's incentivized to make you want to be a part of the ecosystem and like play the game that they're doing. And to me, like that's honestly, this is just showing like we don't care about short-term flippers. If you continue to rock with like what we're doing, we want to reward the actual community participants who are diving into the ecosystem and learning it, instead of the people who are just putting high bid walls to try to then dump and ultimately negatively affect that price action. Like there's
and I also think they can sit there easy and just like wait to see how the blend plays out, right? Like it's not like they can't like open it up to blending if it turns out to be like healthy and not like causing a bunch of liquidations, etc.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the next collection after we're assuming is D-Gods, is added to Blend, and what exactly the result will be of that. It seems that the Blur token is down 28% to 49 cents. Trading like a token like that has these unlocks, you really have to be careful, right? Because it's like my instinct is that I want to buy it because I believe in the platform, and I view Pac-Man as like almost a Mark Zuckerberg-esque entity in the space. I think I went on record saying that last week, but it's like these tokens, it's just tough.
Yeah, I mean, basically, like if you're looking at the tokenomics, and the thing is like you as a current holder, there's no way for you to like accumulate more tokens through like staking or a yield or something like that. It's like offset the unlocks. So yeah, basically like when the next unlock happens, assuming all things are equal, right? If they let out another X% of supply, then you would assume price would go down 100% correlated to that, with the market cap staying the same, but the tokens themselves like do get diluted. Now over time, basically what happens is the percentage of tokens coming out for blur rewards will be a lower percentage of the circulating supply. So like the impact will be like less and less. So maybe like after season 3, right, the drop's only like increasing circulating supply by like 5%. Then you're not really worried like, oh, is this gonna half, the token price or something like that? But I'm on the same page as you, Pio. I think it's a great long-term potential, bet to make, but the timing is hard, right? It's just like, do I buy now and then it's 25 cents right after the next token comes out and I could have bought then? It's tough.
It's really tough. And just to take a look at the collections, Milady makers up 24% to 3.58 ETH. I don't think that that's actually, though, because of blend. I think that's more so, the fact.
Meme coins. They've launched 90% of them. So being in there, it's like insider alpha for when a new hot one's going to kick off with a high TVL. And I think that's really what's actually causing the price action, was they were all super early on Pepe. And I think that inherently just drove the price action up.
It's because they created it.
So they basically so it Milady's at this point kind of represents like an alpha group for shitcoins.
Yes. And early market participants in like trends, I guess you could say. Because like they have been early on a lot of stuff. Like that's one, like they are very much so in the trenches of the NFT and crypto space and have been for a very long time. So whether it is the Remelios, which is like their secondary collection, or whether it is the Milady's, the primary collection, both have just absolutely surged. Like you watch Remelios go from 0.3 to 1.3 over the last 2 weeks. Milady's up from 1.8 to 4 at one point over the last month. Like there's certainly people in there that are just like, and you see a lot of the gains when people exit Pepe have actually gone back and bought more Milady's.
Do the Remelios have the same access that the Milady's do in the Discord?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look into it. That's kind of my thing, is like, I haven't done a ton of the due diligence on what access it gets you, but just seeing people like Franelations buying a lot of the Remelios and emphasizing that like he likes them better, it makes me think that just like from a viewer standpoint, there's also like this separation of like the Remelios were a branch off of Milady's that had far less of like the negative connotation and rumors circulating about that project being kind of less, quote, 4chan than the Milady's.
Interesting. I mean, okay, fair enough. It sounds like everybody in the Milady's community is a full-time crypto person, and that's why they're able
most
to.
Of them, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're trying to like operate like a full-time crypto person and basically take bets really, really early on stuff, it sounds like that's probably a good way to do it. But now, how long is this season going to last? I mean, the next thing that we're going to cover here is basically that meme coins are bleeding and have been over the weekend. So is the question is like, is that magic over? Just to run through some numbers, Pepe is now at a measly $940 million market cap, really down bad here. No, down 19% in 24 hours. Nick, have you been paying attention to the price action on these meme coins?
Yes, I've traded them. I made money on Pepe. I made money on Turbo. I went to sleep thinking this weekend this was going to be it. We were going to take Turbo to Pepe levels, which was completely irrational. And I went to bed having doubled my money on Turbo, and then woke up being up 25%, and then was like, damn it. All right, well, I'm gonna get out. And fortunately I did get out because it went down even further. And I think it's hard. What for me, I wonder about like, what was the transition of Doge into like this larger market cap? And frankly, it was Elon Musk. I mean, that was like the main thing where there were suddenly a lot of people thinking that Doge had the potential to be more than it is. And I still think it kind of like part of us, a little piece of you has to feel that that's the case with Doge. Like Elon had made Twitter's icon, the Doge guy for a moment. I don't believe we're still there.
No, I don't think we are. No,
we're not. But I think that like the real question is like, how do you get to that next level? 1.2 billion was the approximate, like my sort of target essentially with Pepe, and we hit it. And I think it went over a little more actually.
At 1.7.
Wow, that's crazy. It's really difficult for me to see what the like what's the path to that next level. And
More people buying and then selling.
no, I understand. Okay, you used that joke on last week. So
Oh, sorry.
I mean, come on.
Sorry
We need some new content here.
My bad.
You know what? But like, but Nick brings up a very good point about what is this path to like the next level. And on Friday, was it Friday? Yeah, Friday, I wanted to exit my position, and like gas to do the transaction was like 0.07. And it's, these meme coins, well, if you're obviously not buying them on an exchange and you're having to pay that amount of gas, like you're saying that the great thing about these coins is that you can obviously do tiny amounts, but when gas just keeps spiking, those tiny amounts are massively eating into your profits. So I'm not surprised there's been a bit of a pullback here, like as things cool off and people don't want to be paying that amount. But I don't think that, just because it's Monday, somehow this meta has just completely shifted. NFT floors are still decimated. So I see this going on for longer. And it might not be Pepe that comes back or Turbo that comes back, could be another one. We're seeing the effects of high transactions fees on the BRC20 tokens. They're also having that. So it's just like, does this move to Solana and their shit coins? That's where the attention goes, because then it makes a lot more sense to be buying these when you're paying basically virtually zero on gas. Will we see shit coins on Polygon? Just other networks that eventually people will be forced to go to, because it just doesn't make sense to be making like to be getting 2-3x's, but then all your returns get eaten away by gas. So I think that's something to look out for. And we saw this happen in 2021. We saw NFTs surge in summer. Gas became too high, and then that's why so many people moved to Solana. So that could happen as well.
I think, yeah. I mean, fundamentally, you needed to be trading bigger bags to participate, and or get really early in on Pepe. It's just like I see tweets about like trying to develop community around it and all these other sort of things, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. Like look, like I think there was a greed token, and that one to me feels the most on the nose as it applies to meme coins. Like everyone, every single time has gotten wrecked by meme coins, like meme stocks were really successful, and there's messages where it's like, look at all these millionaires that have been created by fighting against the man. But at the end of the day,
they're fighting against each other, dude.
Yeah,
you got wrecked.
Someone's gonna sell, and when like there's what is going on? Alexa, stop.
The robots are getting Nick.
But I think that we have a similar situation here, and the reality is like how, I remember Kix laughing at the $1 billion level. He's like, oh yeah, like laughing at the 1 billion thing. Where that comes for me, those numbers come off of like truly vibes and energy and momentum out of something. And I'm good at seeing momentum with stuff. But the reality is like those sort of opportunities don't really come along all that often. Like, and you need to be patient and wait for those different things, because now what we're in is we've moved to a full degen system season. Because if you're trading those other shit coins, like that's as hot potato as it gets. That's easy level hot potato where you're trading the 1 minute candles essentially, and that's just not a place where you stayed in the casino. You did some drugs. You stayed up all night and you kept gambling. Basically, is what happened.
Clocks in there. You don't know what time it is.
like it's not going to end well.
Yeah, I mean, well, so I was thinking about it. Pepe is technically as big of a win as Bored Ape Yacht Club. Am I right about that? Like, if
not more, and on a way accelerated timeline.
Yeah, like in a 2-week timeline versus like the better part, or like a
I'm
calendar
looking at
year.
the actual data right now. It's like 3 weeks, 21 days. You had well over 1,000x on basically anything you put in, even with gas when you purchased it on April 18th. Was the biggest volume candle aside from this past Friday. This past Friday, it did over $1 billion in meme coin volume just across the board, which was also the exchange listing, which a lot of people kind of speculated on. But if you got in on the 18th of April, You were able to get in sub $20 gas, which basically made any value worth it. And that alone would have sent you well over 1,000x holding even to today.
So, I mean, the reality is if you bought in, and I think there were a lot of people that bought a few $100s basically at that level, and they made a ton of
Like 100 grand.
No, 100x on $400 would be 400. Or sorry, would be a 400,000, 1,000x.
1,000x. Yeah.
That's the math. So in terms of $400,000, if you're not selling any of your stuff, watching that go down, like that was the guy, the Doge millionaire guy on YouTube and CNBC and everywhere else that was circulating, and they like went in, and I think Graham Stephan like sat down with this guy and was like, so we got double Easies in here on the screen. It's funny. He's in the waiting room and on the screen right now. I don't know how the hell
This is double easy.
happens.
We got two.
But that is creepy, dude.
I like
I
it.
don't know. You should be
Easy
able to
looks
remove the other
good,
one.
dude.
How do you, like, you can't even get rid of it. That's like oh yeah, you can.
Yeah, you just
Okay,
remove it.
so in terms of I remember watching that guy get interviewed, and like he was basically, sitting on like a bed on the floor, like didn't have anything, and suddenly has all of this money, and they're like, why aren't you selling? Like, essentially, because any reasonable person would be like, you've made millions of dollars. And he was like, dude, I just like listening to his conviction in the coin at that point in time, and that, maybe Elon was going to bring this to the next level. It was so, it wasn't irrational. It was just like, it was emotional. And I think that's like when you're at that level and you're trading emotionally and you're feeling the fervor and the excitement and stuff, that is the number one warning flag that you got to take money off the table. And
Well, yeah, those types of people, though, en masse is necessary for things to get to those prices, because
that
if
is
you have,
true.
you need that cult like following of people that are like, I'm never going to sell, because that's what makes the price go to ridiculous levels. I've never really gotten into the depth of shit coins. It's just not my style. It's like way too, like, you got to be on like, not even time release Adderall. You need to be on like straight, like it hits your gut and you're peaking in 45 minutes kind of Adderall to trade this stuff. So I just trade like a couple of tokens. I did Turbo, I did Pepe. That's good enough for me. I made some ETH. I'm good. I'm just gonna chill. If there's another interesting coin, I saw Sponge yesterday, SpongeBob. That thing went on a turbo run. But in these times, I always just remind myself of the wise words of Marshawn Lynch, which is, I know I'm gonna get got, but I'm going to get mine more than I get got, though. And that is what I apply to these kind of things. If you keep playing the game, you're going to get got. You just got to make sure you get yours more than you're going to get got, and then get out. And that's what Marshawn Lynch did. And that's why he's a legend.
This comment from Michael Panagas says, mainstream media is 2 to 3 weeks behind crypto content. Exchanges are just getting Pepe online for mainstream to buy. This is peak. This is like inverse cope. This is basically, this is cope for someone that's like watched their bag go down like 30, 40%.
Hopium.
And yeah, exactly. That's the correct term. Sorry, I forgot about that. Well, what a failure on my part. But it truly is hopium. And I think that like inevitably, if you make a ton of money, just always takes like some money off the table. I don't think that there's a problem with keeping money in there, but that's the beauty of fungible tokens. Like the beauty of
fungible.
Yeah, you can take small amounts off the table. With Bored Ape Yacht Club, one of the issues there, and what I think causes that to go longer, is that like you can't do that partial liquidity.
Yep.
I mean, I guess you can now with the whole lending stuff going on, but the reality is like, in order for something to go up that amount and there's a limited supply, there's only 10,000 of them. I think that's like the situation that you need in order for that sort of progressive pump to take place. But the beauty of fungible tokens is you can sort of take a little bit off the table and sell that as the market expands. But equally, people, you can dump instantly with a click of a button. So
yeah. I mean, it's fascinating. It should be noted too, because you brought up Doge. Dogecoin came out in 2014. Right. And so it's an OG coin, and it took a really long time to see its first pump, which, if I recall correctly, was late 2020, January 2021, like the unholy pump. You know?
But every pump, the initial Bitcoin pumps were also the same thing, where you were like, it went from 100 to 1,000 or something like that. And,
Yes.
and before that, it went from like $5 to
100.
And I think that like those sorts of things, everyone in that community was going crazy at that time. The exact same way that if you were in the Bored Ape Yacht Club Discord, when it would go from 1 ETH and it would go to 2 ETH and it would go to 3 ETH, like essentially the entire Discord was just talking about that one number the exact same way that all these other things have happened. That's the one thing I didn't see from Pepe is like, because of their price, it's like there's what 400.
It's a fraction of a penny.
Yeah. It wasn't the same level, so you couldn't have that same excitement. But
the
even
excitement
still,
comes differently because people are like, "Oh, I'm a Pepe millionaire," because they hold 1 million of the tokens because it's so cheap that like there's still that psychological aspect of like, "Oh, I have 1 billion Pepe," and then you have like the participants who are like, "If this hits a penny, I have $100 million," and like we know it's not going to hit a penny, but it's like the psychological aspect of it feels better than being like, I just bought 1/100,000th of a Bitcoin. For whatever reason, retail looks at it that way, where they feel better to have 1 million of this shitcoin than something that's actually concrete and stable.
Easy. I couldn't have said it better myself. I'm surprised that I didn't even think to bring that up. And that's so true. People hate fractional stuff. I suspect because people don't understand math, and people love to be able to say, I've got 1 billion Pepe coins. They love
way
that.
cooler. Sounds way cooler.
They love it. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, the show is brought to you by Phantom. If you have Phantom, you can be a billionaire too. No, I'm just kidding. That's not part of this ad read. But when it comes to managing your crypto assets, security should be your #1 priority. And that's why Phantom offers cutting-edge security features to keep your assets safe. Some of the most notable figures in Web3 have gotten hacked themselves. So Phantom is set out to create a better solution and improve on some of the security issues that many have faced with MetaMask. And I think it's pretty clear when you look at the other wallets in the ecosystem what their focuses are, and I'm not seeing a ton of focus on the user. So Phantom's browser extension and mobile apps actually offer a transaction simulator before you complete the transaction to protect you and your assets from being phished. Phantom also supports Ledger Mobile so that you can keep secure with a hardware wallet. Millions of users already like Phantom, which makes it easy to preview transactions like I talked about, and you can actually just understand what the hell you're clicking when you click on the button. So you can import your ETH wallet to Phantom right now. You don't have to send NFTs. You can just import it. So what are you waiting for? Go to phantom.app, phantom.app, and import your ETH wallet to have a much better NFT experience. All right, everybody. We're going to move on. Over the last 7 days, volume and floor prices have largely been hurting with this high gas environment and a heavy attention being put on meme coins. This little segment is called The Dip Keeps Dipping. Which of these collections are you guys interested in buying as they dip? First collection, Killa Bears, is down 22% to 2.05 ETH. Their floor is down roughly 35% since the Killa Cubs mint, which was a 0.25 ETH mint, which Killa Bears holders received for free. What do we think of Killa Bears down 22%? Easy, are you buying this dip?
I want to see it keep dipping, personally.
Okay.
I would like a Killa Bears exposure. I really like their ecosystem and community. We just saw Killa Cubs start to come out. Once those continue to what they go through, like their staking and reveal and get into more hands, I think that that's where we see a slightly further dip. But that ecosystem is really exciting to me. I think that they're a very strong ecosystem, even right now. And they're one of the ones that doesn't really hyper-focus when price goes down. You don't see a ton of people liquidating off just a small catalyst like that.
Good take.
I just wanted to say, dude, grab your Dippin' Dots because your boy's dipping. I don't know.
What a tagline. That was elite.
Signal was offended by that one.
It's not offended. I'm just like, I have no clue what this guy's talking about.
Ice cream?
No, Signal's
no,
European, Nick. They don't
know
have
that.
bullshit in Europe when it comes to food like that.
Okay.
All right. So Dippin' Dots are the future of ice cream. They're the future of ice cream. All right, that's the tagline. We respect it. Europe's just not in the future enough. That's all it is.
No,
Signal, I'll break it.
we are, but we just like to, not have a heart attack in the future. So we like to keep it like, slim and real over here.
Signal, I'll just give it to you like this. Instead of ice cream that's from a cow that was raised on grass pasture and fed normal food like you guys have in Europe, instead of that, in America, we have like cryogenically created bullshit little solid like balls that when you put them in your mouth, they melt. It's repulsive. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if it's your first time listening, by the way, this is
FYI, it's sold in Luxembourg. Okay. So it is in Europe.
Don't get me started on Luxembourg again.
Yeah.
Let's just not talk about Luxembourg.
Everybody in Luxembourg is fat. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Shout out to our Luxembourg audience. I'm just kidding. Oh, come on. Give me a break. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if it's your first time listening, this is the NFT Morning Show. We run the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. Also available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And the video feed is, of course, on YouTube if you want to see what these psychopaths look like. Next collection that we're talking about in the Dip Keeps Dipping is Heavy Metal, the latest collection in the Yuga Labs Bored Ape Yacht Club Other Side ecosystem, down 14% to 1.05 Ethereum. Easy has had a lot of thoughts on the price action on this. I want to see what he's thinking. Reveal was delayed 2 weeks ago. Man, even the top dogs in the NFT space have had to delay multiple things on this roadmap. It's pretty fascinating.
Our animation is almost good as ours.
That's right. Almost, not quite. Anyway, Easy, what are your thoughts on Heavy Metal here? And I want to hear from the rest of the gang too.
I want Other Deeds in Vessels before Heavy Metal, personally.
Okay.
I think that the Legends of Mara game comes out first, so that's kind of priority going into whatever the next game is for Heavy Metal. So for me, I'm more interested in getting a hold of that to play the actual game and figure out kind of like what that potential price action looks like. And honestly, even like right now, this seems like not the worst time to be getting into some of those things because we know that a catalyst is on the horizon. They've continued to delay it. And for me, it's like, this is where I'd probably strongly consider, and I may actually have to pick up some of those assets.
I think you called that you would like to buy it at this price a long time ago, back when they were called sewer passes, but they're the same thing pretty much, right?
Heavy Metal is. Other Deeds not.
Yeah, I'm talking about Heavy Metal. You called like way back in the day when there were sewer passes. You were like, I would like these at 1 ETH, and then they went like above 2, and you stayed patient, and now it's at your price.
Okay, look at that. So I guess, Signal, what are your thoughts on Heavy Metal at this number?
Yeah, I prefer. I don't like this box meta thing anymore, and I prefer Legends of Mara as a game. I'm like excited about Legends of Mara and what's going to happen there. I'm just like, and the mechs thing. It's not really my thing. The whole like boxes turning into mechs. I like the sewer pass play, and Easy when he called it would say like get out at 3, so I got out of 3, and then it's just sort of been like this slow bleed down for the entire market. Still feels like, yeah, probably here at this edge right now, you might not catch a falling knife. I don't think you'll catch a falling knife on this too much. It can recover and go back up enough if there's enough of a catalyst on this one. But
Bunny,
sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say the entire market right now just feels like a bit of a you're gonna catch a falling knife, and I just think like anything that you're buying right now, I feel like I have to buy it because I want to be in it, not because I'm trying to trade it in this very short-term window. Like, the people I've known who've been in this space the longest, like who I consider to just be like absolute like samurai fighters, they're all in meme coins right now. Like, you go into the different discords and it's like, I don't know, it's being like kind of meme coin coke den or something. It's just like Turbo, Wojak. It's like every coin, like everybody's attention is so split, and none of it is on NFTs. Like, none of it is on NFTs at the moment. And so like to even say like, are these still going to keep dipping, or is this a good time to buy? I'm just looking at like the people who've been in the space for 2-3 years now. Where is their attention? Where is their capital going? Most of these guys are just LPing shitcoins and making 4-5 ETH like in a week. It's absolutely crazy. So why would you buy NFTs right now? That's like when I'm looking at their trading, that's what I'm looking at. So it's difficult to buy now.
What's the last NFT that's pumped hard? It's kind of tough to even, get a read on it. Obviously, we talked about
Lo-fi Pepe. It It was like a free mint for Milady holders the other day. I went to like 0.6, 0.7.
Shocker that the Milady holders are responsible for it. They seem to understand how to pump NFTs. Bunny, I was going to throw to you next. Bunny, what do you make of heavy metal at 1.05 ETH? You're a Bored Ape guy.
Yeah, I'm not touching any. And I actually think Signal fucking nailed it. I'm not touching any NFTs right now. Like, it just seems like a dip that keeps going. And I'm more excited for the Legends of the Mara game too. So, like, unless you're looking to hold this thing for the rest of your life, I'd probably wait.
Are you going to play that? Go ahead, Nick.
I was also going to say that Signal said it was catching a falling knife. It's catching a dead person and laying them down to rest gently. That's how these coins trade. So, like, it's not like it's going to bounce back. They call it a dead cat bounce sort of thing, and then it's going to continue on. No, these are just dead. Like, the person's dead, gone. You caught them, and basically you're trading that body with other people as it's like going down. And it's borderline offensive to the person who was dying, because that's a lot of hands on that body. And like, you're usually like, it's just very disrespectful. It reminds me of
Weekend at Bernie's.
No, Kicks. What's the coffin floppers?
Yeah, dude.
What is coffin floppers?
Dude, all that they're doing is just recording dead bodies where they dropped out the bottom of the coffin, man.
Oh yeah,
my God. I know what you're talking about now.
What?
Yeah, dude. It's look, Horn Cop TV wants to ban this television show, but we're not taking it, dude. Like, Horn Cop TV is saying, yo, there's no way that many dead bodies are falling out of coffins. But I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like, literally, they're dead bodies falling through the bottom of coffins. It's where the coffins just, the bottom of them fall out. You've never seen that, Pio?
Very niche joke. Very niche joke, but I get it. And that's funny.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen it. I'm not on 4chan.
It's not. Oh, sorry that you think it's on 4chan. How about you try a small publication called Netflix?
Wait, this is like it's like a net.
Yeah, it's a new reality TV show called Coffin Flop.
It's what's his name? What's his name?
You think you can, whatever it is.
I think you should leave.
I think you should leave.
That guy is I think he's dropping a new season of I Think You Should Leave. That's hilarious. I didn't see that episode. Wow, that's wicked funny. That's hilarious. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, it was a segment on I Think You Should Leave, which is an absolutely hilarious show.
I think Nick did it better than the show. I think Nick did it just explaining it on air. I think he did it better.
It reminds me of Kroll show, but mixed with Red Bull and heroin or something. It's definitely pretty damn good. All right, look, moving on. Pretty soon this show is just going to be discussing a combination of meme coins and various television programming if NFTs don't get a little bit of a liquidity injection. Look at Sig. Sig's losing it. She's crying. She's crying. Unmute, Sig. Let us hear the last. Unmute.
The video, dude.
Yeah, you like that dead body plopping out of the bottom of that's Sig. So now everybody knows what Sig thinks is funny. She likes a dead body falling out of a casket, everybody.
I did not think I would laugh at that. When he was describing it, I was like, oh my God, that's horrible. Who would laugh? Like, that's not a reality show. The way it just drops.
You got to watch the clip, dude. It's ridiculous.
That's basically one of the all-time greatest clips of so I Think You Should Leave. It's a great episode. Highly recommended.
That was absolutely hilarious. I mean, the way the body falls out of the coffin, hits the bench, and then hits the ground is just pretty funny.
They're rolling out of there. It's like, you can't show naked bodies on TV like that. And it's like, they ain't naked because they ain't got no soul.
I'm going to watch that episode today. 1,000%. That was really good. All right, next one. Back to Captainz. Captainz is down 8%. Potatoes is down 13%. 2.65 ETH on potatoes. Last time I saw Captainz, it was about 7.4. I believe over the weekend, it dipped as low as 7. Captainz has been insanely resilient in terms of price action. There was a tweet from from Memeland that stated a 69% token allocation for meme coin to the community. All other allocations redacted, What do we think? Is the dip going to keep dipping on Captainz, or is this the one that's immune? Easy, any thoughts?
I don't think it's immune, but I also think that right now is like, if you have some spare liquidity, getting in around this range doesn't seem like the worst decision because we know meme coin's coming. Like if they dropped meme coin right now, it would absolutely cook because it's meme coin season. You know what I mean? So like for me, that's the thing where I'm like, yeah, maybe the dip keeps dipping, but I also feel comfortable if it gets low enough to pick up like additional exposure. We're starting to get tokenomics. Now it's a matter of like kind of waiting until we get more clarity and details, but they're setting up to continue to push higher, especially as liquidity circles back, if it does.
Kicks, any thoughts on where Captainz could go? Are you interested in meme coin? What do you think of this?
I love the ecosystem. I love what they're doing. But I'm a huge net loser when I buy things over 5 ETH. So for me, I'm gonna sit on the sidelines.
It's just a range that doesn't work for you.
Only made money like in like Pico Bull Run doing that shit with like Bored Ape and a couple other things. But generally, when I'm buying things above 5 ETH, I'm a massive net loser. It's just how it goes. It's part of my strategy, but I'm a huge fan of it.
Fair enough.
Still got potatoes at 3.2 kicks. If you didn't want to go in at like 7.5, I mean, it's been ranging really nicely. Just always seems to come back over 7 every time. Am I personally deploying 7 ETH right now to Memeland? No, don't particularly want to. I'd rather pick up potatoes.
Potatoes are at, just to jump in real quick. Potatoes are at 2.6.
2.6. Okay. So
they're down 13% over the last 7 days. So they're seeing a little bit of a dip.
13%. Oh God!
And you could probably weave those as well. Maybe pick up some deals. So I think out of the 2 collections, potatoes, it's looking like probably more of a safer bet rather than deploying 7.5 ETH.
We should stop reporting floor price and instead go with those WETH offer prices because I think that's ultimately
the true floor.
Yeah,
2.5.
2.5.
That's the true floor then. 2.5.
And then what percentage down is that then if you do the math?
16, 17%.
Wow. Okay, well that before 13% didn't feel that significant, but 17, devastating. Memeland's holding up surprisingly well
because of the token.
And that's really it. You know, I was thinking about it this weekend. It feels like if you're in the NFT space and you want to see floor price go up, the potential of a token seems like inevitably the only thing you can do. And here's my question. Well, we saw with Moonbirds, it was anticipated that they were going to have a token as well. And then they like switched it due to all the legal stuff. But we go through this cycle. We've gone through this multiple times, right? We saw ICOs pop up and then they disappeared. Then it became ITOs, which is initial token offering instead of initial coin offering. The exact same thing rephrased another way. And suddenly it's all legal again. And then suddenly someone gets heat and everyone like steps back for a moment. And I think we're all just waiting to see what that catalyst is. I thought maybe even meme coin season could be a catalyst for that. But fundamentally, like, what are the different outlets that you have with NFTs to justify a lot of these valuations? And fundamentally, there's not a lot of things. The only thing I think right now, Bored Ape Yacht Club and Mutants, essentially a degree of what's holding their floor up at this price even is the fact that you can go stake your ape and yield tokens associated with it. And Mutants were the ones that were getting higher ROI. So that's why their floor has held up slightly better than how the apes have done. You know, apes are down sub 90K right now. And I still think it goes lower, especially if we see the price of ApeCoin continue to decline as well. Inevitably, those assets need to go down some. And I do feel like with the number of tokens that they have right now, it is going to be a gradual decline for them, just simply in terms of sustaining this ecosystem. It has nothing to do with the promise of the business. I think that Bored Ape Yacht Club and Yuga are very well positioned to execute and deliver awesome stuff through the next run whenever that happens. That said, I think that's not reflective at all of what that what the NFT price should be, and that's the problem. And I think that Memeland is really fundamentally one of the best positioned at this point in time where I'd even consider if the price went down low enough, I would buy one. Like, it just seems like that feels like the trade. And I even wonder for myself, I'm like, should we be you have to think, as someone who's running NFT projects, should we be positioning to have a token? And when we first started this, I fully anticipated that we would have a token at some point as we roll out different things. And it makes a ton of sense. The distinction historically has been utility token versus, I don't know what the other token is. Fully fungible, just security, I guess.
Piece of crap.
But you would say, oh, no, it's a utility token, so it's fully legal there. But the reality is it's a token that has liquidity versus points within an ecosystem. And I think that, I like the idea of points. DGods is doing that. I anticipate that, I don't want to talk about where we're headed, but I definitely think that that's something that is a consideration. And I think it enables you to test some of those economics around those tokens without there being liquidity immediately, and then potentially convert all of those into actual liquid tokens whenever you get that system right. And that it gives you more flexibility. People will be pissed, but they're not going to be as pissed as if you just cost them, if you took away like money out of their pocket.
Yeah, that's what we saw with Moonbirds, right? It was they're doing points, which is what you're describing, but it was the fact that the expectation was that there was going to be a token, and now there's Talons, which is off chain and kind of in this little system that they have, which was what led to the disappointment.
The problem is like, well, for Moonbirds, they've communicated one thing and then changed them. That's where their error has always been, is before they're decisive with their next step. Whereas I see DGods basically talking about points, and I see and they they already have a token though, so I guess that's a bad example. But anyways, I just think that tokens are going to play a much bigger part, and/or last comment on this before I stop rambling, which is, there was a thought for a moment in time that NFTs could be those tokens, and I'm on the fence of whether or not that happens. Like, technically, an ERC 1155 is like a semi-fungible token, and that's the problem with. That's why a lot of people don't like ERC 1155, and that's an issue that we've had with our own token. It's semi-fungible because everyone gets the same image. And so I wonder if like those become the currency. We've just seen those pull floor prices down though, and it seems like you need to have this separate token. I don't know.
I think, you're onto something. Like, if you look at the rare Pepe ecosystem, which is obviously an insanely niche ecosystem, it's on Counterparty. It's literally a Bitcoin NFT. There's obviously a lot of differences with that ecosystem, but the money, like a lot of people probably don't understand this, but the native currency of that ecosystem is Pepe Cash, and that's just an NFT. Right. So you pay with that NFT. So it's actually not out of the question to do that with the ERC 1155s. I actually think the issue you run into is the gas fee. Paying the gas fee is an issue at that point. And that's where, I mean, look.
But you have the same thing with the ERC 20 tokens.
With the tokens. Yeah. I know. Well, honestly, I feel like layer twos are pretty damn inevitable. That's what I think. Like, why do we want to pay gas fees forever? How could this all not go towards layer 2 and no gas fee?
Or another layer 1. That's it.
Yeah, of course, Solana. Of course.
And you've seen a massive shift in new users over the last week. I was actually just looking at those charts too. And it's like shocking at how many new wallets, first-time users, and individual wallets with Solana balances that have actively increased in trading. Both record highs over the last 60 days across the board for the last 3 days straight. So clearly the gas fees are weighing in when there's 150 to 250 per transaction. It prices out the majority of individuals, especially those that are trying to get into the space. But then obviously like exchange listings help eliminate that. Like Pepe getting onto an exchange certainly brought in a lot of retail eyes because you don't have gas. So like the easier friction points there, when you can eliminate that, becomes a bigger win for like the general consumer.
Yeah, and I mean, when you talk about exchange listings too, one thing that we didn't touch on that I think is worth mentioning, this is kind of a little off topic, but basically, yeah, it's great to get on like Binance and stuff like that, but I feel like when you really get proper full tilt meme coin, it has to be on Robinhood. That's like the ultimate, you know, that's the top is like when you get the Robinhood people in, it's just an absolute wrap. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, one more shout out today to our sponsor, the sponsor of today's show, Phantom Wallet. If you're an NFT enthusiast, you need a wallet that is purpose built for the community. That's why you should check out Phantom. And I don't want this to be like understated, ladies and gentlemen. This wallet is being developed for the users, the traders. It's not being developed for software engineers. It's being developed for the people that actually are going to be using it to trade NFTs, to hold coins, you know, whatever. Phantom's browser extension makes it super easy to manage your NFTs across 3 blockchains, across ETH, Matic, and Solana. So if you got Utes on Matic, if you got, you know, Mad Lads on Solana, and you got Captainz on ETH, all of these can be hanging out in your wallet and actually displayed in your wallet. You don't have to go to a platform, a separate platform like a marketplace to display it. You can also directly list and edit your NFT prices on marketplaces right from the wallet. If you've never done this before, you should definitely check that out because it's a pretty damn good function, in my opinion. And Phantom has support for multiple seed phrases, so you don't have to send the NFTs to the Phantom wallet. You just import it and manage all your wallets in one place. So join the millions of users already on Phantom. Go to phantom.app. Phantom.app and import your ETH wallet for a much stronger NFT experience. Should we dish out the free NFT, Clemente?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's dish it out.
To claim today's free NFT, enter the password Tundra21, TUNDRA21 at thenifty.com/claim. Here we go.
So it's we're loading it right now on screen, ladies and gentlemen. On screen, Tundra21. Clemente, can we see this one full on?
It's the frozen eel.
It's not a frozen eel. That is not a frozen eel. It is the Arctic leash. Clemente, let me get at this description. The frozen eel.
Kind of looks like an eel.
Yeah, but he's eating what's it called, unagi today. So look, the Arctic leash is a legendary artifact of the icy north. As it hovers in the air suspended by an otherworldly power, the Arctic leash glows with a blue-white light that illuminates the frozen glacier around it. Wow.
How many power points do you get with the frozen leash? Arctic leash?
Anywhere from 6 to 9 on the low side, depending on the rarity.
Interesting. Any like mana multiplier?
Yeah, it gives you a speed buff against an opponent and actually lets you set 1 trap card.
Okay, I like that, dude. That's going to give me a real advantage when I'm playing the game.
Pio, but before we wrap up the show, can I just share one meme that was shared by Kicks before we left?
Sure.
New meme coin coming soon. Cough and flop. DM Nick for the details.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just listening, Clemente has a meme pulled up. I don't know who made this. It might be Johnny Blaze.
Yeah, probably. That would be my guess. I retweeted it on my account.
Is it Johnny Blaze? Yes, it was. Well, no surprise there that Johnny Blaze hit the nail on the head. Shout out to Johnny Blaze in the Nifty Discord. It is basically a screenshot from Coffin Flop of a corpse laying below the bottom of a broken coffin with Nick's face superimposed onto the corpse's head. So that's the brand.
I feel like we should just play that clip.
Play the clip. Let's go. Play the clip.
Can you hear this?
Channels, including Corn Cob TV.
Share your screen.
2022.
Hold on one sec.
Corn Cob TV.
Hold on one sec. Let me share this. Here we go.
Corn Cob TV.
This one is called. One second. Playing it would have been fine for the audio people. I feel like.
I mean, you just have to share your screen.
Here it is. Nope, that's not it. I went to select it and it's not working. Anyways, dude, here. You can just hear it.
Play it.
Won't be available on your cable menu. That means you won't be able to see some of your favorite Corn Cob TV shows, including Coffin Flop. They're saying they want to drop Corn Cob TV because we showed over 400 naked dead bodies on our show Coffin Flop. If you love Corn Cob TV shows, it's time to tell Spectrum, no. They're saying Coffin Flop's not a show. It's just hours and hours of footage of real people falling out of coffins at funerals. There's no explanation, just body after body busting out of shit wood and hitting pavement. They're saying it's impossible that many dead bodies are falling out of coffins every day. And it's impossible that 1 out of every 5 of them are nude. I don't know what to tell you, bud. We're just shooting funerals and showing the ones where the bodies fly out. Jeez, they're saying, no way. You must have rigged something. I didn't do fucking shit. I didn't rig shit. I've been waiting a long time for a hit on Corn Cob TV. I didn't fucking do this. They're saying we don't have the permissions of the family. I said we don't need permissions of the family. We're allowed to show him nude because they ain't got no soul. The guys at Spectrum think I'm just some dumb hick. They said that to me at a dinner.
So you got the point.
I must say, when they wrote that, when that guy came up with that, they were probably all on the floor in the writer's room, because that's absolutely hysterical. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. The show is not Coffin Flop. It is the NFT Morning Show. We run this Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. Eastern time. So we will be back tomorrow and every other weekday this week. Shout out to everybody that's contributed to the show. Shout out to everyone for listening. It's also available on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. We will catch you tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed the show.
And remember,